Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Pazinski from Try to For You, where we teach you to learn to live and prepare you for the unknown. In this video, we're going to talk about the hurricane season. Yes, I realize the hurricane season started a month ago, but it's never too late to prepare for the storm. We know that if you live on the East Coast or along the coastline of any of the major U.S. cities, that it's not if, it's when you're going to get hit. So keep on watching and we will talk about what you need to prepare your home and your family to keep you safe. Alright, so like I said, in this video we're going to be talking about hurricane preparation. But before we get started, if I can get you to subscribe to my channel, click on that like button and leave a comment below. If you want to get the latest and greatest of all my videos, hit that notification bell to ensure that you get the latest content. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, what we're talking about is preparing yourself, your family, your home, and the eventuality of a hurricane or a storm that could either cause you to buckle down and try to survive something like this, or if you have to be evacuated to someplace so that you're no longer in danger's way, you'll have the materials, the resources that you need to take care of yourself. Now, first, let's assume that you've decided that you're going to stay home. The government's already told you it's time to get out, but you decided you're not going to do it. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that your home is safe. The place where you're going to shelter, you need to make sure that it's capable of withstanding a storm for whatever may come. And that means preparing your home, your property. So the first thing you want to look at is, what have you got sitting outside? I don't know how big your land is or the property that your house is on. I have no idea what that is. But what I do know is that if you've got stuff sitting outside just lying around and it's potential for the wind picking it up and throwing it, well, you need to get out there and put it away. Bring it inside. Tie it down. Okay? Get everything together and tie it down to something that's semi-supportive, semi-permanent to the foundation. And if you can't do that, you need to bring it inside, because what happens is that wind picks it up and it throws it. And you have no idea where it's going to go from that point. It's either going into a house, into your neighbor's house, across the street. Hell, it could be a mile down the road. But what you don't want is for it to get into a situation where it can potentially hurt or even kill somebody else. So go outside. Take a look at your property. I'm not saying that they have to stay tied down or put away all the time, but knowing that a storm is potential coming to your home, your community, you need to be prepared to get all that stuff put away. So that means you're going to need to have some rope. Excuse me. So you're going to need to have some rope lying around so you can tie that stuff down. Okay, now what else? You want to make sure that your house is protected as well. If you have your typical 2-bed or 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom home, either a single story, even a dual story, you've got lots of windows on it. You may even have a large plate glass out the back or a sliding glass window out the back. You need to protect that glass from being blown out or even sucked in. Things that you're going to find with a hurricane is that it's based off of pressure. And you get a vacuum, it'll actually implode glass into your home. If the pressure inside your house is higher than outside of the house, guess what? It's going to blow outward. So you want to protect your home from flying glass. How do you do that? Well, you're going to want to tape everything down, which means you're going to need to have duct tape or Gorilla Tape or something that holds that glass so that it doesn't get thrown around if it shatters. Something else that you may consider as well, if you don't want to have to replace all that glass, well, guess what? You're going to need some plywood. And yes, I do know. I do know for a fact that building materials are gone through the roof. A sheet of plywood 2 years ago was costing me $30 for a sheet, to today they're costing me $60 to $70 a sheet. It's expensive, which is why we prepare for these things. You want to buy those materials when you don't absolutely need it, because that's when the prices go up, is when you need it. So you're going to need plywood. You're going to need enough plywood to cover all the windows inside of your home, around your home. You're going to need enough nails to do the exact same thing. A couple of hammers, 2 or 3 hammers to make sure, because if you're going to get people to help you, then maybe you'll need those extra hammers so that they can help nail boards into place. 2x4s. 2x4s are always great to have. So that will help keep your home protected, your windows protected from flying debris. Now that doesn't mean something won't happen. All right. So now that we've looked into the inside of the house, around your yard, and got everything put away, or at the very least we've identified what needs to be taken care of immediately when a storm is, or a hurricane or tornado is right up upon you. The other thing you need to worry about is keeping your family safe, keeping yourself safe. If you are the man or the woman of the house and your job is to keep everybody safe, everybody looks to you, then you need to make sure you yourself stay safe. If you don't, then everybody else is going to suffer for your absence. And that's not something we want. Nobody wants that. So you'll need a first aid kit. You need to have one anyways in the house. You'll need a fire extinguisher in the house just in case a gas line breaks or something catches fire and you need to be able to put it out. Somebody gets shards or gets hit by something, you're going to need to be able to treat them, because you never know when an ambulance or medical treatment is going to be coming by to help you out. During these storms, generally, nobody's going out except for immediate danger. So you're going to need a first aid kit, fire extinguisher, and these are things that you're supposed to have in the house. You should have inside your house, regardless of what's going on. It's just common sense here. Now, you can get online, or you can go to some of these, like the home improvement stores, and you can buy these bladders. The idea here is, with these bladders, if you have a 3 or 4 bedroom home, that you have at least 2 or 3 bathrooms in your home. And likely, they have bathtubs inside of them. You put these bladders inside there, fill them up, seal them off, and then you've got water for days. The idea here is that for every person in your home, you at the very least minimum need a half a gallon of water per day. Without that, you're not going to do so well. And if you're got enough food to maintain your family, you're going to need at least a gallon per day. Now, this is not based off of 8. You have to drink 8 glasses a day. No, you drink as much water as you need per day. But in a survival situation where you are eating your rations that you have, water is used to break down the food in your body. So without water, you can't break down the food. Your body will actually use water from its stores to break down that food. Now that creates more dehydration much quicker. So you want to make sure you've got enough water on hand. Like I said, figure half a gallon per person at the very minimum. Better to have at least a gallon per person so that you're never going to be without. If you don't have it and you need it, that's bad. If you have it and you've got it, that's great. That's what you want. That's the situation you want to be in. So it's better to have it than not need it, and versus needing it, not having it. Then you're beg, borrowing, and pleading with your neighbors to, at the very least, get you some water. Now, if your water supplies do dwindle, you should have a way to filter water and purify it. And what I do is, one of the things is I buy one of these water filter kits. Okay, so this particular kit, I did get it on Amazon. This is called Pure and Easy. Got a spare filter here. So Pure and Easy. Always keep a spare. So the idea here is, right here, this part of it goes into your water supply or your source, and this part of it here will go inside your container. And basically, all you do is just pump it. This filter that is inside of it is good for up to 1,000 gallons. So you can actually filter out 1,000 gallons of water out of it. Now, because I'm a bit cautious in the water that I drink, I'll filter it out. It'll get it'll get as much of the big stuff out as you can, and you'll have to regenerate this or clean the filter every once in a while. But I'm more concerned with bacteria. So I will also use iodine pills or drops and add it to my water source. Now you'll have to look at the directions on the bottles to tell you how many drops or tablets that you put into your water to purify it. You can also use bleach, chlorine from your house, and again, you'll have to check with your the directions on how much water or how much bleach you will put into water to purify it. Now, generally, it's not very much. The idea is you get a little chlorine in there and it kills off any bacteria. But there is a limit on how much you put into it. You don't want to just dump it all in there and then call it good. That would just kill you. And we don't want that either. So anyways, I always keep my water filter handy pump around. I've got spare filters for it just in case. 1,000 gallons of water is a lot of water. Okay. The other thing that you're going to need to make sure of is you're going to have food around. Now, because I do a lot of prepping stuff, I want to make sure that I have what I need for my family. And I don't know when something's going to happen. I buy what they call MREs. Military uses them for their troops. They're easy, they're quick. Basically, you open them up and you're ready to go, and you can eat right out of there. Now, they have some of it where you just add water, which is why you always have to have water around for these meals. You want to have water and food regardless, because one without the other is just plain silly. So, but I buy these off of Amazon. This is from Mountain House Adventures meals, and there's 22 servings inside of this bucket. Now, inside this bucket, they're filled with other pouches. There's 12 other pouches in there. This particular one has beef stew, a couple of breakfast skillets, a couple of scrambled eggs with bacon, and rice and chicken. Okay. Very, very handy to have around. They last up to, these here are good for 15 years. After that, they can't guarantee the freshness of the food. But if I had these at year 20 and that's all I had, guess what? I'm eating them. Okay, there's this other one called emergency food ration bars. This package here has 2,400 calories of food in it, or caloric requirements for the day. This one is called apple cinnamon. Now there are 6 bars in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bars in here, and each one of these bars are 400 calories each. So that gets you closer to your 1/5 of the way to your necessary dietary calorie intake that you need to sustain your current body weight, which is about 2,000 calories per person. And it also depends on your height and weight and your activity level. The more active you are, the more food you're going to need to intake. The more water you're going to need to intake. So you figure in a survival situation, you need at least 2,000 calories per day per person. So these are kind of pricey, but like I said, they're good for this one. These are good for 15 years. I've got another one from ReadyWise. Same idea. And I've got several of these other freeze-dried packages. And this one here is from Datrix. It's a different style. You have to be careful when you get these. These here, if they're not vacuum packed like this is obviously not vacuum packed anymore compared to this. There's no air in it. This one here did not go through it. If you get them like this, send them back. They're no good. They're not going to last the way they are. You just might as well open them up and try them anyways. Which, you know what? Let's try that right now. So I'm going to open up this package right here. So, now inside of this, check this out. More bars. Now these bars, they're individually wrapped, but they're not vacuum wrapped, which means they're going to start going bad here fairly soon. Okay? Each one of these is 200 calories. So there are a total of 18 inside of here. So they've got your fat, your carbohydrates, your proteins all built right into the bar itself. I haven't tried one of these yet, so I'm going to give this one a try. They're very dense. Let's see if I can get into it. Very dense. But you would think that because they're freeze-dried, they're going to taste like sawdust. Which means they have no water built right into them. I'm going to make a mess here. Watch this. Yep, made a mess. That's what I expected. Alright. That's what I expected. Not too bad. They're a bit dry, but they're freeze-dried, like I said. And but if I'm hungry, then they're gonna do they're gonna do exactly what I want to do. Now the bag says on here that if you tear the bag just right, this can be used as a container for holding water. Okay, so it's actually not too bad. I'm going to put that right there. I made a mess. Definitely made a mess. I'll vacuum that up later. But they're not too bad. There's also these other bars, more food rations from Food Lab Incorporated. And again, same idea, just different types of flavors on it. This one on these here says they're good for 5 years, and you want to replace it after the fact. Now, during a hurricane or a storm event, and that's imminent on you, well, you don't even want to wait to that point there. You're going to end up running to the store like everybody else and you're going to find is that everybody else has cleaned out the same stuff that you're looking for, which is why you're going to want to start looking ahead of time. You want to maintain food stores and water inside your home so that you're not having to scramble. And the things that you're looking for at Walmart, Target, hell, even Lowe's, you can get water from. So what you're looking for is anything that is ready to eat. Peanut butter, bread, anything that's vacuum packed, anything inside of a can, because they're generally cooked already inside the can. It's just a matter of you opening it up and eating the contents. The pouches of tuna, those are ready to eat. Get a big old jar or can of peanut butter. Those are things that you do not have to prepare when you open them up. Peanut butter lasts for a long time, and it's got lots of protein and fat in it. Things that everybody needs to have during an emergency situation or a survival situation. Those are the things that you're going to stock up on in your home. Those are the things that you want to stock up inside your home. You don't want to go for anything that requires you to cook or use of a microwave. Stay away from those items. Your fruits and vegetables, once they leave the store and you're not able to maintain them in a temperature controlled area like your home, they are going to rot very quickly. So if you're going to get that kind of stuff, you're going to have to get, those will be the ones that you eat first and foremost. Okay, so as we said, the food stores that you keep in your house, meals ready to eat, MREs, freeze-dried, vacuum-packed foods is what you want to maintain in your home. You're going to want to have ways to filter your water. You're going to have ways to store your water because, like I said, all this stuff is going to be, all your stores are going to be closed down. You're not going to have access to it. So you don't want to wait till the day before a hurricane or tornado hits your home. Now, something else that we did not discuss about is what if you have to leave? What if, you know what? You just got to bug out. You got to go. You want to take as much water with you. You want to take as much food that you can handle with you. Don't worry so much about your stuff. Your stuff can be replaced. Your family members cannot be. So don't even worry about your stuff. It's all insured anyways if you were smart enough to get home insurance. So don't worry about the stuff. But more than likely, if you decide that you're going to leave your home after you've boarded it all up, you've made it as safe as you possibly can, and you decided that you're just going to head north or away from the storm, you're going to need to have enough gasoline. One of the things that I do in my home is I've got enough fuel in containers. That way I can add to my gas tank without having to stop at another gas station. Because when the power goes out, when utilities get shut down, you're not going to be able to pump gas. So having extra fuel on hand makes it that much easier, less stressful than you have to worry about. Because if everybody else is leaving at the same time, there's a strong likelihood you're stuck in traffic waiting, all going down the same road in the same direction at the same time. And now nobody's moving because some idiot up front didn't have enough fuel in his vehicle or did not bring extra. And now he's blocking the entire road of everybody else. You don't want to be in that situation. So have enough gasoline at the very least to refill the vehicle that you happen to be driving at the time. If it's a 20-gallon tank, have at least 20 gallons extra on hand. Now, something else that happens during these storms, if you get stuck outside, you're not going to have heat. You're probably not even going to have any kind of cooling. You're going to need to have some kind of protection from the elements. Now, at nighttime, you got the wind blowing, your clothes are all wet, you're going to be cold. I don't care who you are, it's going to be cold outside. Anything less than 70 degrees is going to be miserable. So something else that I keep with my family's packs, our bug out bags, so to speak, are these heat blankets. These emergency ponchos. So you can see that. That's a poncho that's got Mylar built on the inside of it. It acts as a raincoat and a heat blanket at the same time. The idea is that it holds in your body heat so that it doesn't escape. They can get very uncomfortable and hot, and because they're Mylar, they sound like crinkling tinfoil. So I've got one for each one of my family members, and I've got a few extras just in case these get destroyed. All right, so these are just some items that you need to have with you in your survival bag. And you should not wait until you actually need them before you get them. Because more than likely what's going to happen is when you do need them, and I've said this numerous times now, don't wait until you need something and go get it, because the likelihood of being there is slim to none. Because everybody else is thinking the same way. I need to go get my stuff. Get ready for this. Don't wait till the storm is on you before you decide to do all this. Have it ready, get it going, and be ready. Don't be a victim out there like everybody else. Don't be the guy on TV screaming and yelling at, why isn't the government doing more to help me? You know what? You had every opportunity to help yourself. You put yourself into that situation by not preparing for it. That is your responsibility, not the government's. They are there to help those that could not help themselves. So be aware of all that. Don't be the one relying on the government to take care of you, because if that's the type of person you are, then, well, shame on you. The government isn't there to take care of you. The government's there to help you when you have no other choice. They are there to help get the infrastructure back. They're there to get the roads open, the power turned back on, get the gas going again. That's what they're there for. They're not there to put all the pieces of your life back together. That is not what you pay taxes for. So just be aware of that. Be cognizant of that. All right. So I've rambled on enough here for this evening about this subject. There are literally dozens, if not several dozen, different videos out there on hurricane preparedness. They show you different items. They go through those items. They talk about just about everything that I've talked about through here. But the one thing that I want to leave with you before I actually sign off is the best way, the best chances that you have of surviving one of these storms is not to be there. Okay? Just don't be in the area. If the government or the local agencies tell you to leave, leave. Take the items that you need to maintain yourself and your family. Take them with you. Okay? Put them in the car. Go visit somebody. Find a hotel away from the storm. Because your stuff, your home that you built, all of that can be replaced. It all can be replaced. Your family cannot. Your health cannot. You will spend more time, effort, and you'll be miserable if you or your family get into a situation that could be very unfortunate, and that is not what we want. So, excuse me. So basically, just don't be there. If you have the opportunity, the chance to get away from one of these storms, then get away. I agree that some storms are not as deadly as others, But I guarantee you this, the people that lost their lives, lost their stuff in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina, thought the exact same way, that it could not happen to them. Most of them didn't have a chance to get out of there, or they just refused to believe that it could happen to them. So don't be there when the storm comes. Keep yourself, keep your family safe.